Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, the Silverhawks have had quite the journey to become 7-inch figures, and I gotta tell you, a lot of people have been pretty critical about the choices the Super7 made to not have them vac metalized and make them more cartoon worthy. Last year, it was announced that the Silverhawks would indeed be getting a toy-inspired version, which would be vac metalized. And Super7 wasted no time in showcasing this new version at places like San Diego Comic-Con, PowerCon, and any of the stops that they showcase these at conventions throughout 2023. And now we're finally getting a glimpse at these courtesy of good friends of the channel, Toy Habits. Huge shout out to Toy Habits for letting us have a first look at these Silverhawks. Let's not waste any more time, guys, and see exactly how shiny these Silverhawks can really get. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh, guys, this was absolutely nuts. They got these in hand courtesy of Entertainment Earth, and we are privileged enough to have a look at these up close and personal. Huge thanks to Michael and the Toy Sorcerers for this. Guys, definitely head over to toyhabits.com, give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. According to the article here, written by Toy Sorceress, Vac Metal, Quicksilver, and Steelheart Super7 Ultimates in-hand review. We're going to take a deep dive into this as these photos were provided by the Toy Sorceress. Thank you once again, Toy Sorceress. You are the best. Taking a look at this first image, oh my goodness, everybody. There he is. There is Quicksilver. They said it couldn't be done, everybody. They said it couldn't be done, but it was done. This is incredible. There he is in his plastic prison. Holy crap. He is shiny. He is super, super shiny. Oh my God. This is crazy. Look at that. Just look at that gorgeous vac metal, the way they really were intended to be. Now, you can argue many different things. Obviously, the initial versions of the Silverhawks were meant to be more cartoonetic, right? But I think there is a lot to be said about the nostalgia that comes with these versions of Silverhawks, which harken back to the toys. I mean, this literally is almost identical in so much that it is a vac metal toy, and that is what a lot of collectors were expecting. And I think that Super 7, they've been doing a lot of these, cartoon version of the toys, and then all of a sudden they reel it back and do these, more retro style version of the toys, and I think it's a really great move, especially in the case of the Silverhawks right here. I mean, look at Quicksilver here. He looks absolutely stunning. The box is just gorgeous and really does harken back to that original box from Kenner Toys. I mean, they've got the star pattern in the background moving all the way down to the blue, which usually was the illustration of the Silverhawks themselves. Beautiful touches. I really love, the nods and the homages to those wonderful little tie-ins that come from this type of nostalgia. I love it. Taking him out of his plastic prison, we can see that he has two different levels inside of the box, very much similar to the way he was packaged in the original version. We can see his swappable hands here. Half of them are vac metalized, the other half are painted in the flesh tone. We have Quicksilver himself, his swappable head, his two winged arms, the traditional version of Tallyhawk, and it's interesting that they kept Tallyhawk in the same plastic version, but that really does coincide with the way he looked in the toy version of the Silverhawks. And if we look even closer, there is an actual microfiber cloth branded with Super 7 right in the background. That is a nice touch. Obviously, to try and keep all of your little oily fingerprints off of this guy, but I gotta tell you, that's going to be nearly impossible. Wear gloves when you can, but of course, holding this guy without any actual grip using those white gloves can become hazardous for sure. Here he is. It is Quicksilver out of the package. And my God, he really does give that overall wonderful aesthetic and just gives me those wonderful nostalgic feels of seeing Kenner version. He really is absolutely stunning in that gorgeous vac metalized, shiny version of the Silverhawks. Humanoid hand, his humanoid face, and everything else was just absolutely shiny. Same thing with the other side on the right. This is really a wonderful example of how nostalgia really does kick in with these versions of their toys, and people were just clamoring for these versions. And I'm so glad that Super 7 made the decision to make these happen, and hopefully we'll get the entire Silverhawks team, because that would be absolutely brilliant. And it should be noted that this is a little bit of a darker chrome, and that's on purpose. So bravo on, again, really nailing down that idea of the nostalgia trip that we're all going to be taking when we take these guys out. Seriously, he's so shiny, you can actually see the reflections. Here is a really great close-up of Quicksilver himself. Now, say what you will about the face paint, I think it's enough. I think that it could have been a little bit more detail in the eyes. Maybe I really do appreciate the shading that they put on the cheeks and the chin. That was very important, as it was really a sticking point for many people when they first started showing the prototypes. So I really do applaud Super 7 for coming full circle and making this happen. The back of his head looks amazing. Again, you can see all that wonderful chrome. And of course, the swappable head looks stunning. The blue on this visor really stands out with the chrome pieces and almost looks like it's glowing. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. Here we have Quicksilver doing his winged pose. Man, he looks amazing. Adding those wings on was a really great choice in my opinion. These ones are a very stiff version of the wings in comparison to the soft goods version that came with the original Silverhawks, and I do really appreciate how Super 7 has handled this. The Vac Metal just looks incredible and really does reflect everything around it. It is just a wonderful nod to the original version of the Silverhawks, and having them here in their winged pose, just flying in outer space, it really is a beautiful example of how we bring some of these amazing toys from their original versions into 24. Quicksilver here looks so good, and like I said, it's hard to keep the fingerprints off this guy. You can sort of see where right here you can see a little bit of a fingerprint right there. we can take some DNA samples here. It's freaking amazing. And I think we might be able to identify. No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. It's kind of. I'm making this into a game, everybody. Trying to identify who is taking these photos. We'll see if we're right, because I will ask Toy Habits who it was that took these photos. I love the face. It's growing on me much more every time I see it. And of course, with this wonderful Vac Metal treatment, it's just absolutely gorgeous. This is my idealized version of Quicksilver, and I'm so happy that we're going to be starting to get these into our hands very, very soon. Here is Quicksilver with his trusty Raptor Tallyhawk. He looks amazing as well. Obviously, he's literally just another repack of the original version that came with the first release of the Silverhawks from Super 7, but he looks no worse from wear. He looks absolutely gorgeous. Quicksilver here, of course, holding him on his perched hand. This is a wonderful pairing. I love the fact that you can have one arm without the wings and the other arm with, and it just looks so natural together. Zooming down closer, the chrome is just absolutely gorgeous on this. The finish, everything about this is just 100%. I don't see any pitting. I don't see any issues so far with these versions. But of course, as you play with them, you have to be very careful because they can rub up against each other. And that's why you see these larger gaps here. I think that was intentional, as they're trying to avoid making too much of a rubbing against each of the parts so that the chrome doesn't flake off. It really is quite hard to keep the fingerprints off of this. And I'm so glad that Super 7 included one of those microfiber cloths, really trying to give us every opportunity to clean this thing down and make sure that they last the test of time. I love the visor. It really is that striking Silverhawks stare. One of the really imposing things about the Silverhawks when they were in their winged mode and their attack mode, they literally did look like raptors ready for the attack, hunting down their prey, and I love it. It really is the most idealized version of the Silverhawks I think we could have ever expected. Bravo to Super 7. This is incredible. Here we get a close-up of the symbol, which is on the left breast of the characters. And this, of course, is a wonderful nod to not only the cartoon, as right in the beginning of the series, you do see that every Silverhawk has this wonderful symbol embedded into their chest, but this is also a wonderful callback to the original figures that each had this wonderful symbol, and it's just so great seeing it put back in its original form. as these were not included with the first releases of the Silverhawks. Here we see a direct comparison between two versions of Silverhawks. We have Ramen Toy Quicksilver on the left, Super 7 Quicksilver on the right. You can really see the differences here. The shininess of the metallic paint that Ramen Toy decided to use, it really is a wonderful treatment for Quicksilver. And even their version of Tallyhawk is bathed in that metallic silver. But it really is hard to argue the treatment here by Super 7, finally giving collectors what they want with the chrome version of the Silverhawks. Here we have the first two Silverhawks released in their chrome variant. And I have to tell you, in the next review with Steelheart, we're going to be talking about her version of chrome and just how stunning it really is. I mean, just looking at it here, you really can tell the difference between the darker chrome and the more bluish silver chrome. I mean, wow, there really is a huge difference here. But we'll get to that in the next review. Here is a direct comparison with the original OG Quicksilver against his counterpart 2024 Vac Metalized Quicksilver in their glory. And it is interesting to note that the original Quicksilver was actually a little bit more bright in his overall appearance. Bravo to Toy Habits for keeping this version of Quicksilver as pristine as possible. Usually the paint on the face is the first thing to start chipping off, and of course the chrome itself starts wearing down over time. We can even see just a bit of tarnish here on the right leg, but other than that, this is just absolutely gorgeous. The soft good wings are also very much intact. Bravo to Toy Habits, this is absolutely stunning. And of course, standing beside his counterpart Quicksilver from 2024, it's amazing just how much these two really do look so good together. And of course, looking at the two versions of Tallyhawk, as I said earlier, this version is in plastic, very similar to the way this version is as well. No chrome applied, and I really do appreciate that level of detail that Super 7 has decided to put into these two. Freaking incredible. If you were on the fence about the Super 7 Silverhawks, don't be. These are the ones that you've been waiting for. The chromed version of the Silverhawks have arrived, everybody, and they look absolutely gorgeous. Here we have the collection of Silverhawks from Toy Habits. These guys look amazing. We have Steel Will in the corner over there on the left. We have Quicksilver from the original vintage series in the middle. And we have my favorite, Bluegrass, right here. He does not have a winged pose. He literally was the commander of the hot seat. And he looks absolutely stunning. Look at that wonderful chrome on each and every one of these. And their faces are so well preserved. Bravo to Toy Habits for making this happen. It's beautiful. And of course, standing in the background, we do see the two existing Super 7 Silverhawk with their vintage counterparts, and they look incredible together. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out to our good friends over at Toy Habits for letting us look at these incredible images of Quicksilver. In the next video, we will be taking a look at Steelheart herself. And I gotta tell you guys, I've got a lot to say about this version of Steelheart. She truly is quite the shining example of what a Silverhawk is supposed to be. The Silverhawks, partly metal, partly real. Quicksilver looks absolutely stunning in his chrome version. I already have the more cartoon version of Quicksilver, and he looks good. He really does look good, but I have to admit, looking at these pictures right now and the way the light just plays off of them, it really does hit me in the nostalgic feels, because I really did love the Silverhawks as toys. They were just absolutely stunning. Being able to hold and play with these figures, and the shininess and just the overall brilliance of the characters themselves really was super special. And now it's being realized once again in 2024. Huge shout out to Super 7 for making this happen, as I know they made a lot of concessions. The tolerances had to be changed. A lot of things had to happen in order to make these toys a reality, and it could not have been easy. I want to give another huge shout out to our good friends Toy Habits, who let us take a look at these incredible figures. Thank you so much, Michael and Toy Sorceress. You guys are the best. Definitely head over to toyhabits.com. They're a wonderful news resource for toy news all year round. Give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, are you as amazed as I am about these brand new chrome versions of the Silverhawks? Are they everything that you were expecting, especially since the original versions were good, but just not what you were expecting? And are you guys going to be putting down your hard cash? Definitely head over to Big Bad Toy Store as they still have some pre-orders available, and keep your eyes out on Entertainment Earth if that's your preferred supplier, as they may get additional versions in soon as they're just about to hit the street. Or are you not interested in the Silverhawks at all, as it just wasn't one of those cartoons that you ever watched, and you really aren't into vac metalized chrome toys at all, and this just seems like something that you can pass on? Let me know those comments in the comment section below, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please do leave me a like. It really does help me out. And if you're in the position to help out the channel, please consider checking out my Patreon page. It's MegaJ Retro on Patreon. Guys, the patrons and channel members of this channel help me make wonderful episodes every single week, and I couldn't do it without them. They are the best. Thank you so much for your support, everybody. It really means the world to me. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Partly metal, partly real. Good journey, everybody. Geek proud.